booktube! Hi, hello, and welcome back to my channel. Since we are in the month of December now, I thought it was about time to do my December TBR. And it's a little bit different this month because normally when I do a TBR, I know exactly what I'm going to read for the month, and I tend to know, like, approximately the order I'm going to read it in, that sort of thing. I kind of don't this month. I have an idea of a few books that I want to read, and there are a whole heap of other books that I kind of maybe think that I might get to, but I'm feeling a little bit like mood ready right now, so I'm not going to list like a whole bunch of books that I think maybe I'll read. I think I'm just going to list like the few that I think I'm probably definitely going to get to. So my wrap up eventually should have more books than this, hopefully, but these are just the ones that I think I'm definitely going to read over December. The first of which being Lord of Souls by Greg Keyes. This is the second book in a duology set in the world of the Elder Scrolls, which, if you weren't aware, it's a video game series, so it contains of like Oblivion, Skyrim. You've probably heard of Skyrim. So I am a massive Elder Scrolls fan, and I picked these books up many years ago, and I only read the first one this year. I have to say the first book was not what I was expecting. It was kind of like, I don't know, it was kind of like interdimensional Hell's Kitchen. I don't really know how else to describe it, but I was not expecting like the demonic cooking of souls. It was weird. So I didn't rate it too highly, but it seemed to pick up a lot more towards the end, so I'm hoping that book 2 in the series will like continue that like ramping up. Like the story got better towards the end, so I'm hoping that continues in this book. I don't really know what to say about the story other than it's set in the world of the Elder Scrolls, and it's after the Oblivion Crisis but before the events of Skyrim. And there's like a floating city which has appeared over Black Marsh, and it's kind of like gathering up souls like a big harvester, and also kind of making everyone crazy. It's a bit weird. I wouldn't really recommend this unless you had played the games and you were very into the Elder Scrolls games and Elder Scrolls lore. If you're that kind of person, then this would probably appeal to you. But even as a massive fan, I wasn't that impressed with the plot of the first book. Like, plot-wise, as just books themselves, the first one wasn't that great. I kind of want to get this out of the way before the end of the year though. I've been writing some Skyrim fanfiction for NaNoWriMo, so I kind of figured that I just want to get back to this world a little bit. I have had such an urge to play Oblivion and Skyrim, and I just haven't really had the time. So I would really like to cross this off of my physical TBR before the end of the year, because I have had these for so many years sat on my shelves and they need to go. I need to finish reading them and then I can just like shelve them and stop worrying about it. So yeah, first book on my list. The next book I think I probably want to get to in December is The Gutter Prayer by Gareth Hanrahan. This was one of my most anticipated books of this year, and it came out I think in January, and I still have not read it yet. So I kind of really want to read it in 2019. I don't want to carry this over to 2020, I want to read it now. This, I believe, is Gareth Hanrahan's debut novel, and from what I've heard, it's got pretty good reviews. I don't know that much about the plot other than I know the fate of a city rests in the hands of like these 3 thieves or rogue type characters, and you know me, I really love a good like thievy roguey kind of story. I think beyond the borders of the city there's like this age-old war going on, and the city's kind of like the only refuge, but I guess there's going to be a little bit more going down within the walls of the city, and I'm looking forward to reading this one. Can you even see them behind the tinsel up there? I am too lazy to do anything about it. The next book I want to read in December is going to be Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling. This is the beautiful 20th anniversary like Ravenclaw edition, because I am a Ravenclaw, in case you were wondering. I know I seem like a Slytherin, but I promise you, Ravenclaw. I do not need to tell you about this book. You already know what this book is about. But specifically, I want to read this on Christmas, so I think I'm going to start this on Christmas Eve, and I might finish it on Boxing Day, depending on like how much time I have to read. I could absolutely read this in a day. Like, the font is huge. So yeah, something about Harry Potter just kind of feels Christmassy to me. I don't know whether it's because the first book had so many Christmassy scenes, and the film has like such good like Christmassy feeling music. Like, it's absolutely going on my Christmas playlist. Not that I actually have a Christmas playlist, but if I did, it would be on there. It definitely feels like a really nostalgic sort of story. I don't know, I always just kind of want to get back into like Harry Potter type media at Christmas time, so I'm gonna. Christmas Day, I will be curled up with this book and a blanket and maybe my cat in front of like a nice fire after like Christmas dinner, and I'm just going to be like relaxing and reading this book, and it's going to be the best. And so I think there's only one other book that I think I'm definitely going to put on this TBR. I had thought about like multiple other things. There are a few big fantasies. Like, I wasn't sure if I was maybe going to be able to get back to Joe Abercrombie and continue reading the first Lore series maybe this December. And there is some more like classic kind of fantasy that I have on like my radar, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe I really want to read that, like, I don't know, while it's wintry. But I'm not sure how I'm going to feel come the time when I actually go to pick something to read, and I'm not actually sure how much time I'm going to have to read all of these things, because I feel like, you know, December's a nice time to relax and read and things, but other people, they seem to have lots of plans and it gets busy, so I don't want to like overstock my TBR with things that I might not get to. But the last book that I know I definitely want to read this December is The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch. I have to read this book this December. Like, I have been looking forward to reading this in December for so long. So again, I don't actually have too much knowledge in the way of what this book is actually about, but I know that our main character is a thief and a rogue. Again, I love that sort of character archetype. I don't know why, it's just absolute chef's kiss. I love it. And I'm pretty sure he's in like a band of thieves, so again, exactly my kind of setup. And so while this is like a high fantasy, I'm pretty sure it's contained, at least for this book, specifically within like a city sort of environment. I don't know what it is with like the city fantasies in December, but I think something about city fantasies just makes me feel Christmassy, or something about winter makes me want to read them. I don't really know what it is. So yeah, I've been looking forward to this book for a long time, and it's one of the ones on my list where I think it might be possibly a 5 stars for me if it like lives up to my expectations. I actually started to want to read this because last December I was just in such the mood for like a city fantasy with thieves, and I didn't have any books like that on my shelf, and I couldn't afford this book at the time. And then by the time that I had purchased it, it was like I'd lost that sort of like mood to read specifically that sort of stuff, because we were moving into the new year and it was becoming springtime, and I just couldn't really bring myself to read this at like the wrong time. I knew that I would really want to read something like this again come the next December. And so now that we're here, I'm finally going to get to read it. Do they all balance up there? Can you even see them? I feel like they're too far away. So yeah, there you go. There is my TBR for the month of December. I know it seems small, but as I say, I'm hoping to pad this out with a few other books that I choose like spur of the moment. So if you're curious to see what those will be, you will be able to see those in my wrap up in January. And yeah, definitely excited for all 4 of these. I'm just in such the mood to just like shut the whole world out and just sit and read and like do my own thing. And these are the books that are going to let me do that. So that was everything from me today. Let me know down in the comments what books maybe you think you're going to be reading in December or even come Christmas time. Do you guys have any book related plans for Christmas? If so, feel free to share them with me. I would love to know. Also, are there any books that you tend to read around Christmas time that you feel remind you of Christmas in some way but that aren't actually technically Christmassy or wintry? Do share with me. So that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye!